Gregor. I always say Gregor Camp.
A little more dramatic.
That's Gregor. Gregor, Camp, and Reeves in that fourth line spot. Joseph Woll, the starter. Did we see enough from we did, but do we see enough from Joseph Woll to know that he is now number one for the foreseeable future? Yes, but also there is a back-to-back coming up on the weekend, right? You're going to have to put Ilya Samsonov in either the Calgary Flames, who are a tire fire, or the Vancouver.
What a game!
The Vancouver Canucks, who are one of the best teams in the entire league.
Yeah, I think we have to be a little bit careful anointing, but I guess careful with Samsonov as well. I mean, it was still under a week ago that he had that start in Boston, and he was so brilliant. But that first period against the Tampa Bay Lightning is as bad as I've seen a goaltender play in a Maple Leaf sweater in a really, really long time. And I'm not going to be able to forget that, because it does mean more than the start in Boston, at least for me. Because, yeah, the start in Boston was great. They didn't win the game. And they did win the Tampa Bay game. But with goaltending like that, you have absolutely no chance. And then you're going to have to go back to Woll anyway. So I do think Ilya Samsonov is an immensely curious case right now, because he can play so well and then play so poorly. And it could be so bad that it's almost like you want to write him off. But you have to remember that he did play well in Boston, that was only one period, and that this is a long season where you got to use both these goaltenders. Right now, my trust is in Joseph Woll, but right now I think we both understand, and everybody understands, that both these goaltenders are going to have to give you something, are going to have to be available, are going to have to contribute to this, unless you want to pull the plug eventually on Ilya Samsonov. And I do think that's a way this team can improve. If you decide to trade Ilya Samsonov, if you decide to lean on Martin Jones, if you decide that Joseph Woll can take you to the finish line, that is a way to open up some money. But until that decision is made, if that decision is made, I mean, Ilya Samsonov has to play a role in this team. It's
pretty crazy to see what's going on with Edmonton Oilers. Their two goaltenders have been brutal, one more brutal than the other, to get sent down to the AHL. And you have Martin Jones that I don't know if we think about him enough, or we remember that he's still there, but you actually think that there's a possibility that the Maple Leafs would find a buyer for Ilya Samsonov. Maybe there's a team that we just mentioned there that would want to take him on, and they would actually use Martin Jones as a backup for this season. Like, how bad does it have to get for that to be the point? Or is it just the safety valve that was already built in with the idea that maybe one of these two, and maybe it wasn't even Samsonov that they thought could be a question mark. Maybe it was young Joseph Woll, who's still a guy with not a lot of pedigree. Is that why Martin Jones was brought in? Like, is this like the smartest galaxy brain move that actually is going to pay off maybe in November?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess we'd have to ask Brad Treliving if he galaxy brained this beautifully. But I think there's just a general distrust in Ilya Samsonov. I think it extends back to last year. And Brad Treliving wanted to do the outside-inside in terms of viewpoint and what he knew and what he was going to find out when he was actually in the weeds with this team. And I wonder what he thought and what he knows now, or at least what he thinks now about Ilya Samsonov. I mean, it wouldn't be without risk. But starting Ilya Samsonov is not without risk. Right?
Yeah, it's
not without risk. So, if you believe in Joseph Woll and you have no interest in playing Ilya Samsonov in a playoff game, if you get to that point in your head and in your strategy, then there's no point in having $3.55 million tied up in Ilya Samsonov. And then I guess there is a point in having Martin Jones in the system, because he is a capable backup goaltender, I believe, in the NHL. Can he be that number one starter like he had been? Probably not anymore. Can he be a backup, though? I think he can be.
I'm just checking out his contract. It was a 1-year deal for $875. Martin Jones.
You'd have real cheap goaltending. So
imagine your goaltending duo, your tandem of Jones and Woll, if they're both under $1 million each.
Yep.
He would look like the smartest GM to ever walk the earth if that worked out.
And they've used some of that money that came available, right? They paid a lot for Tyler Bertuzzi. They paid a decent amount for Max Domi. They paid a decent amount for John Klingberg. It wasn't like it was with Kyle Dubas, where it was like, well, we can only afford 5 players at $1 million each. Like, that's how it felt when Kyle Dubas was putting together teams for a little while. But there's still maybe more room if you want to trim some of the fat, or at least trim some of those who you have no interest in actually putting trust in.
Okay, so we're about 5 minutes away from taking a quick break and teeing up the start of the first period. We got the Leafs and the Sens on tonight, of course, on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. We'll have your pregame and intermissions, and of course, Leafs Talk will be on afterwards. But November, it is November, and the Leafs have been pretty damn good in November, and the Sens may be the worst in November. So this might just play perfectly into Maple Leafs fans' hands.
Yeah, they've been the best in November, at least in the last 2+ seasons. The Maple Leafs have a 24-4-4 record in the month of November. This is the get right month for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What happens? Just all of a sudden, the daylight savings does something.
I don't know.
Gives them better sleep. Maybe just they rested more.
I think there have been so many theories about what has like afflicted the Maple Leafs in October and how they just like find it after a couple weeks. I mean, the theory this year was, Matthews and Marner are working way too hard in training camp and they need a little bit more time to rest. How they just like find it after a couple weeks. I mean, the theory this year was, Matthews and Marner are working way too hard in training camp and they need a little bit more time to rest before the season starts. And that might be what nothing really fixed. They still weren't very good in October. I think there's a lot of reason to suggest this wasn't going to be their best month, but something does click after a couple weeks. And I don't know if Sheldon Keefe finding something. I don't know if it's reverting back to something. I'm not really sure why. And it hasn't been proven to be true yet this year because that Tampa Bay game was pretty bad until it was pretty good. But something works beautifully for the Leafs in November, has for the last 2+ seasons. And to contrast that with the Senators, as you mentioned, they have the worst November record over that same time. That with the Senators, as you mentioned, they have the worst November record over that same time period. So they've had good starts that have been erased by Novembers, and the Maple Leafs have bad starts that have been erased by Novembers.
A slow start and then a dominant month, or a great start and then you fall off a cliff?
Well, in the NHL, it's usually hard to change what was, right? Like what you have to start generally lasts for the entire season because the standings are tight. It is a crushed can. Like everybody is usually stuck in their position and can't really change who they actually are. But November is a longer month than October, at least in terms of the NHL schedule. We start a week and a half into October, right?
It's funny. Yeah.
So you need a better November than October because there's more games generally in November.
That's good math. Okay, so before we tee up tonight, you've got some thoughts on Austin Matthews being maybe someone we should recircle for the Hart Trophy.
Well, I think especially if you're a gambler, you should be looking at the Hart Trophy odds because Connor McDavid's not having a great season. He's already missed
probably
games.
Is a little hurt.
He's definitely a little hurt. And if he's playing through injury, that's great. But can he be Connor McDavid if he's injured? And if he plays for a team that doesn't make the playoffs, you basically strike his name for the record. So there's a lot of opportunity for McDavid to not be McDavid. And if McDavid's not McDavid, someone else is winning the Hart Trophy. Austin Matthews has already beat him out for one. And I think he can do it again. Right now, he's got the highest percentage of his team's goals at 31.7%. He's on pace for 82 or more than that. Like he's scoring once per game. He's just on a different level. And if you want to get in front of it, Matthews' dominance versus the Ottawa Senators is only bettered by his dominance versus the Montreal Canadiens and McDavid's dominance versus the Flames. Since Matthews broke into the league, he's scored more goals against the Senators than anyone else has scored against any other team other than McDavid versus the Flames and himself versus the Montreal Canadiens. He burns the Senators. I wonder if he'll get some again tonight.
Should be taking a look at that when we give our player to watch.
What happened after the break?
Yeah, that would be that's a sneaky good stat. A player performing against a specific team is always interesting to me. Like why the Sens? Like why?
What about you?
But sometimes you just got to.
Have you ever dominated
that's what
one
I'm saying.
team?
Like sometimes it's just not even for a reason. You just know you have this team's number, and I think if you start your NHL career knowing you have a team's number, you're going to remember that every time you play the Sens, right? Like, I scored 4 goals. I love playing this team. Like I remember a barn I used to play in. Every time we'd go play on that road game, I'd be like, I love playing here. I always score here. And then you're telling yourself that going into it. I always light up with St. Lawrence University.
There you go.
The Saints. Appleton
They're still
Arena.
licking their wounds
Appleton Arena, beautiful barn. Nonetheless, I'd go in there and I'd play so well. I just remembered feeling my best, producing, getting points. And so then when I'd get there for the next year's game, I'd probably play well.
I mean, I think the mental thing would be huge. I think you would feel that every single time, just the way Eilish Forfar did if you're Austin Matthews. But also, we talked about how poor Ottawa's goaltending has been, so I think that would play into it. And it hasn't been the most successful team. So a lot of players have been scoring goals against the Ottawa Senators, but no one at the rate of Austin Matthews.
Okay, so Leafs won 6 of the last 7 meetings against Ottawa Senators. really big goal differential, outscoring them 26-17. Leafs had that good comeback win. Wasn't a great game, but it was a good comeback. That was on Monday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Maybe they're riding a little bit of momentum, having done two things to the same team twice in one season already. A comeback win, an OT winner, having your one goalie pulled and your other one coming in relief. And I believe when this happened last time, when Joseph Woll came in relief for Ilya Samsonov, he became the kind of driving force for the Leafs to go on a run.
He was crowned.
He was crowned, and he became the thing that the Leafs kind of held on to, and they went on a really good streak. So that could be something that they feel similar to when they go into tonight's game. And then they've got two big ones against the Calgary Flames and Vancouver Canucks coming this Friday, Saturday. So a good way to continue to get right against a team that you've found success in. And I saw that Matthew Knies got the game belt. Team really likes that he's on the top line. I think they want to give him that opportunity to keep building confidence. So a lot of good things converging on tonight's match.
And we talked a lot about Austin Matthews, maybe benefiting from Matthew Knies and vice versa. Mitch Marner has back-to-back 4-point nights. I think he probably likes having Matthew Knies on his line, too.
Yeah, he's been quietly overlooked in terms of the stories.
Hard to be quiet having 8 points in your last two games.
It is pretty crazy.
But Mitch Marner has.
We'll be right back to continue setting up the Leafs and the Sens before puck drop. You listen to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move and day. Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat, with more things to chew on. Our Great Canadian Meat pepperoni and Great Canadian Meat salami, with more things to chew on. Our Great Canadian Meat pepperoni and Great Canadian Meat salami. Handcrafted in Whitby using the finest local ingredients, they're the perfect combination of great Canadian and meat, and Great Canadian gift for any occasion. Send them a pepperoni sticks gift box or say it with salami. Great Canadian Meat is the yummy gift that never gets returned. Shop Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
All right, everyone, step up and down. Left foot, right foot, you're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real world. Work those abs, driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more into your Subaru. Windows down, take in that outdoor air and park. Windows down, take in that outdoor air and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
The Beatles have once again pushed the boundaries of musical exploration.
With a brand new song and anniversary editions of their Red and Blue albums.
Now and Then is the last record of the Fab Four. John, Paul, George and Ringo.
Now and Then. Hear it throughout the week on the Beatles Channel 18.
And anytime on the SiriusXM app. Free with all trials and popular plans.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. He had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league is talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stella. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Awards.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here with you ahead of the Leafs dropping the puck with the Ottawa Senators for the Battle of Ontario. Leafs coming in on a bit of a high, coming back and defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning in overtime on Monday, but the Sens coming in with a little bit more of an angst coming into the building with media attention and players calling out the fan base so it's an interesting dynamic out on the ice tonight, but nonetheless, we always know that these two want to beat each other real bad, and tonight will be a winner takes all in terms of positive media tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're polar opposites because I don't think everything's idyllic in Maple Leafs land, but it is certainly better with the Leafs than it is the Senators right now, who are dealing with a bit of a snafu with Brady Tkachuk kind of going at the fans and not necessarily walking it back and not necessarily standing by his comments, but wanting to stand by his head coach. And the one theme, at least with the Ottawa Senators, has been that, hey, they like DJ Smith. They want to play for the former Maple Leafs assistant coach. They want him to still be around. But ultimately, as we know in this business, performance is going to dictate that. And they're just not winning enough games in the fifth year of DJ Smith for that to continue. If it goes off the rails here for the Ottawa Senators, I can't imagine that under new ownership, they would feel the same way as Brady does about DJ Smith. So yeah, a very interesting storyline in Smith. So yeah, a very interesting storyline in this game, in the perfect stage, Battle of Ontario for high drama.
Yeah, when your players are saying we want to play for DJ Smith, there's probably a little money on the board, a little bit of a let's shut up the media and put a big win on tonight against a rival in the same province as us. So the Ottawa Senators coming in with maybe a little bit more to play for than the Maple Leafs, but the Leafs still not in their best of spots either. They've got some big games this week, Sens tonight, Flames and Canucks on the week. A bit more to play for than the Maple Leafs, but the Leafs still not in their best of spots either. They've got some big games this week, Sens tonight, Flames and Canucks on the weekend. So big Canadian rivalry week for the Maple Leafs. But they found something that worked really well, and that was Matthew Nyes on the top line with Matthews and Marner. That was an experiment that went real well for Sheldon Keefe on Monday night. Matthew Nyes looked like he fit seamlessly with those two, and tonight will be up on the top line once again.
Yeah, definitely the highlights of that game, belong to the first line predominantly. But I will say that Nick Robertson did come into the situation and bring some measure of stability to the middle six. I thought Max Domi had one of his better games, and he just happened to be playing a different position. Some measure of stability to the middle six. I thought Max Domi had one of his better games, and he just happened to be playing a different position with Nick Robertson beside him and a defensively focused player in Calle Jarnkrok, giving the third line, some sort of utility and identity that it did not have before. And of course, Matthew Knies got elevated from that third line. The play on the top line had a brilliant game. Mitch Marner had 4 points. Knies scored a beautiful goal. Austin Matthews was Hart Trophy level once again. I am worried a little bit still about that second line of Bertuzzi, Tavares, and Nylander. That that partnership has cooled Tavares and Nylander just a little bit, and Bertuzzi's still trying to find his way. But if that line can get cooking, you might have what is at least the closest a resemblance to the top formation for Sheldon Keefe, at least among his forward fleet.
Somehow, William Nylander, though, has a point in every single game so far to start the season. Still holding on to that new Maple Leaf streak, looking to maybe add to that tonight. But he's not our player to watch. Our player to watch is Austin Matthews. The player to watch presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Austin Matthews puts the puck in the net at a alarming rate this season.
Yeah, and against the Ottawa Senators. So this might be the perfect elixir right now because Austin Matthews is hot, and this is a team he loves scoring against. So just bet Austin Matthews to score everything. 1 goal, minus 160, 2 goals, plus 300. Maybe we get to a hat trick tonight. I think it's probably a safe bet to go to Austin Matthews, centering Matthew Knies and Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner, by the way, is on back-to-back 4-point games. So production from the top line might be the way to go on Bet365.
Okay, so that is 2 goals plus 300. But if
it's official play for us?
Yeah, that's our official play. And if we want to give a little love to the young in net, Joseph Woll, who is come in relief of Ilya Samsonov on Monday night and will be the starter again tonight, a Woll shutout is plus 775 on Bet365. Maybe a little sprinkle for fun.
There you go. A little trivia for you.
Oof.
Who's second on the Maple Leafs in points right now?
Ooh, if it's obviously Austin Matthews is first.
Yes.
It's not Mitch Marner?
It is Mitch Marner.
Oh.
And that's pretty remarkable, right? Because we haven't been talking about Mitch Marner much.
Smart.
And William Nylander has a point in every single game.
That's why I thought it was a trick question.
And yet it's still Mitch Marner. So it's been maybe a little bit more quiet around Mitch Marner, but he's starting to get cooking. And maybe the Matthew Knies thing is as good for Marner as it is Austin Matthews.
I love that. Okay, I feel real good. I feel real smart.
You passed the test.
I passed the test. We can continue hosting Boston Leafs hockey. Okay, a couple more minutes here. But Joseph Woll being the starter for the Maple Leafs, I think gives them a nice level of confidence. I think they play much differently in front of him. Maybe it's just recency bias because when they play in front of Ilya Samsonov, the puck is going in the net. But there's something about the calming presence of Joseph Woll that makes this team play better because defensively, they're going to need to continue to bolster that blue line. They've got Riley Brody, Giordano, Klingberg, and Benoit Legason looking to be the back end for the Maple Leafs. Still not the strongest D-core in the league, getting some injury around the corner, maybe McCabe and Timmins coming back, but still maybe the eyeballs are on how this D-core holds up.
Yeah, the eyeballs will remain there, and they'll remain on Klingberg. And Lageson's kind of passed every test. And I think Simone Benoit passed every test in his last outing. I thought he was really good. It definitely earned more trust than Max Lajoie did, who played, I think, under 5 minutes in his one start. This is not a grade A defense core. It is not a top blue line in the NHL as it's currently constructed. But can they hold up? And can they hold up because Joseph Woll helps them? That may be the case. I mean, I think Joseph Woll has been awesome this year. I'm not breaking any news to anyone. He's been very, very good. He's been so much more reliable than Ilya Samsonov that you feel more comfortable with him in the net. And you mentioned Avad, and their ability to bounce back is obviously very, very commendable, but you can't do that every time out. You can't do that every time out if you're the Maple Leafs. And Joseph Woll is definitely the better bet to not have that sort of outing where you're definitely playing from behind.
All right, a big one, an important one for both teams. Maybe a little bit the hot seat is burning under DJ Smith. Can his team help play him to another week of coaching in the NHL. Brady Tkachuk will definitely try to do so tonight. You got the Leafs and the Sens, a battle of Ontario. Leafs have won 6 of the last 7 versus Senators. Sens have been struggling on the road against the Maple Leafs. I think the Leafs have a 9-0-1 against them in the last 10 home games.
Very dominant.
So let's see if they can continue all of those nice Leafs heavy positive stats that we're giving. And when we come back after the first period last time we came back, it was not pretty. We'll try differently this time. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the first period after the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
A game-winning home run by Derek Jeter.
They are legends and icons.
The Lakers take the lead on Magic Johnson's wedding skyhook.
And you can hear them right now on the Sirius XM app.
We got Magic Johnson here.
Everybody got all these shows. They've been hounding me. I said, I'm only doing one, and that's Eddie Johnson. Anytime you guys need me, I'm here.
Legendary Derek Jeter. Welcome to Black Diamond.
Thanks for having me. I've been waiting for the invitation.
For access to the game's great.
Anytime you guys need me, I'm here.
Legendary Derek Jeter. Welcome to Black Diamond.
Thanks for having me. I've been waiting for the invitation.
For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio. Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The Point
in sports audio. Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
One thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million. Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Under review. It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part argument. As a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league is talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Leafs Radio Network.
The Maple Leafs homestand continues as the Ottawa Senators make their first visit to Toronto, as the Maple Leafs will host the Sens, who are sputtering, but this is nothing new for them. The months of October and November have not overly been productive for the Sens, but certainly disappointing because a lot of people thought that they would certainly be a much better hockey team at this point than they have done thus far. The guardians of the Gilded Gazebos tonight, Joseph Woll in goal for Toronto, 4-3-0, and it is Jonas Korpisalo for the Senators as the puck is dropped and we are underway. Sens regroup it back in their own zone, and a long bank pass ahead for Tkachuk. Brody ties him up as the backhand went around back of the goal. Riley had his stick lifted there and couldn't make a pass. Senators into the forecheck now. Centering it in front. Batherson, a shot right on the rebound. Stopped again by Woll. Helmet has come off. And that, rather forcibly, I may add, Woll just said, no, let's just stop play here.
Yeah, I think he took the first one off the side of the mask. I don't know about you, but I started looking for players. I didn't know whether it was a mask or a helmet. Seconds here. The Senators gone off to a fairly decent start, winning 3 of their first 4, but are 1-5 in the 6 games since. Actually, it was the last time in that the Ottawa Senators snapped a Leaf winning streak against the Senators here at home. Ottawa 9-1-1 in their last 11 games in Toronto.
Woll getting his mask readjusted. Face off in the circle to his left. He wasted a little time making sure the officials knew that something was amiss. Pass up the middle gets to Nylander. Nylander just fed it in over the line, but out of the reach of Tavares, and the Sens have pushed it back into neutral ice. The Leafs have to have a better first period. Wow, wasn't that a brilliant statement by Mr. Bowen? Yes, trailing 4-1 is not a real good idea. You know what? I've seen a lot of hockey.
I can one-up you, though.
Oh.
I'm thinking, okay, now this is a stretch where the Leafs are going to be playing 3 straight Canadian teams at home.
Okay.
I'm going, wonder what the record is for most games at home against a Canadian team. It's 27.
Thanks.
Remember the COVID?
Yes. Yes.
It took me a while.
It took a while to figure that out, did you?
Figure out the
right.
Canadian division.
Here's a chance now for Hamonic with a shot. It got in behind Woll, but he spotted it and was able to get back there and cover it up.
Boy, that's just a wrist shot off the right wing. And I believe that was Travis Hamonic, the defenseman, that
cover it up.
Boy, that's just a wrist shot off the right wing. And I believe that was Travis Hamonic, the defenseman, that launched it from the top of the circle, and it almost squeezed into the right arm of Woll.
And I'm going to give him some kudos on this. Because he tracks the puck that hits him, he then realizes, I don't have it. It's got to be back here, and makes an emergency move to cover it up.
With the little Gilles Gilbert.
He then realizes, I don't have it. It's got to be back here, and makes an emergency move to cover it up.
With the little Gilles Gilbert-ish, didn't it?
Yep. Chipped in over the line into the Senator zone. Cleared back out. Benoit couldn't come up with it. And now it's launched in over the line, and Benoit knocks it down and gets it ahead. Robertson for Domi. Domi sliding it into the zone. Yarncrook, the scoring hero the other night, including the winner, as the Sens bring it back down into the Leaf zone. Round back of the goal, it comes back to the point. Walking the line with it is Kubalik. His shot went wide. Back of the goal goes Chartier. He has it taken away. Shot went wide. Back of the goal goes Chartier. He has it taken away, and Domi trying to work it up on the wing. Gets it ahead to Robertson. Robertson chipping it along the boards, but too far for Yarncrook to come away with. Teams are changing on the go. Sens get it to the line and backhand it back in. Cut off there by Brody. Sent around the boards and out at center now comes the Leafs as it is launched in by Noah Gregor. Reeds gets a bit of a hit in on the boards, gets the loose puck on the far wing, trying to play it into the corner. Tied up his man. That's drawn a crowd in the corner, but the Senators are able to poke it free. David Camp corner, but the Senators are able to poke it free. David Camp forechecking. Reeds Tried to make a pass into the slot, but it was out of the reach of Gregor. And now the Sens will work it out at center ice. They'll just play it into the Leaf end and start a change. Approaching 3 minutes here into the first period. Matthews in on the left wing. Slides around one to go into the corner. And a whistle here.
Interference call. And is it going to be Matthew Nyes? Boy, Nyes, I thought, just pulled up to try to stay on side. Wow, I mean, that's a tough one to take. Matthew Nyes just simply pulls up at the blue line as Austin Matthews. I mean, this is just two guys intersect. But it was Norris that went down, so Nyes is getting the penalty. I mean, wow.
Interference at 2:46. Power play for the Senators has been fairly consistent. They've scored 7 goals in their last 7 games, 1 in each, in 34 times with the man advantage.
Senators actually scored a power play goal in, did you just say that? 7 straight?
Yeah.
You're right, Joe. I was looking for my note on it.
You know,
we're getting better, though.
So we are.
I got it.
You know, every once in a while we listen to one another, which is good.
Well, as long as we listen to one another.
Leafs chip the puck out at center ice.
That's right, Joe.
How
much
long
time
have
left?
these guys been married? Oh, never mind. Brought to center ice now by the power play, but it's broken up at the blue line, and the Sens have to go back to their own line. Chychrun to the near side. Tarasenko gets in over the line, but the Leafs knock it back out at center. Marner's going to chase, but then realizes he can't get there and goes to the bench for a change. Chychrun dropping it back. Brought out at center ice now by Stützle. He got across the line. A pass deflects into the corner on the near side. Played back to the point. Kept alive there by Stützle, but a good stick there by Järnkrok has deflected the puck out at center ice, and he scampers to the bench. 48 seconds left in the penalty. Gregor up forechecking, and the Sens work their way through center. Batherson brings it in on the left wing. Had it knocked away and around the boards it's going to come, and the Leafs are going to find a way to ring the rink with it, and down the ice it goes on edge. Sens try again. Brought to center ice once more. To the line and in and backhanded in around the board. Sanderson gets a pass on the right half boards down low. A pass in front. Brilliant save by Wall. Another shot is blocked. My goodness, he went across the crease quickly. Near side now for Josh Norris. Norris down low. Jam play in front. Puck still free. Back into the slot. A shot, and it's whistled wide. And out of the penalty box is Nyes. Nyes down the left wing with a shot. That's underneath the goaltender, and as it pokes free, a bit of a premature whistle there.
I mean, that was very similar to Wall earlier in the period where it snuck through him, and you could tell by Korpisalo's reaction that he didn't know where it was. We had this conversation before we went on the air. How many more goals there seems to be on those plays, guys coming off the wing? We saw Hedman jump down from the left wing, their left point to score in the first period against Samsonov. We saw Mitch Marner score in the third period coming off the wing against Johansson. It seems that the goals are being scored a lot more like the 70s and 80s than they used to.
Here's Klingberg in his own zone. Passes it up on the left wing, but well out of the reach of everyone. And now he'll get another try. And here's Tavares coming in over the line on the left wing. Tried to get a shot away, then decided to hang on to it. Drops it off for Nylander. Nylander pulls up, works down the left wing boards. Cutting for the net with a backhand. That was stopped by Korpisalo on the short side. To the point, Klingberg. Now to Morgan Rielly, a shot. Birds cutting for the net with a backhand. That was stopped by Korpisalo on the short side. To the point, Klingberg. Now to Morgan Rielly, a shot. Big rebound. Tavares centering in front. And a penalty coming in front of the net. Tavares centering in front. And a penalty coming in front of the net.
We got another interference violation. The same official, I believe, has called them both. As the Leafs respond after the penalty kill, thanks to Joseph Wall.
Brian Pakmara has made both of those calls. Michael Markovic is the other referee. Ryan Galloway and Brad Kovacic are the linesmen.
I believe it's Travis Hamonic. Oh, you know what? This is just as weak, I think, as the penalty to Matthew. Oh, you know what? This is just as weak, I think, as the penalty to Matthew Nyes, as Tyler Bertuzzi just drops in front of the net. Minimal contact, but that's enough to even things up.
5:44 the time of the infraction. Leafs on the power play. 3 of 17 in their last 5 games. 11 of 41 overall. Nylander in, scores! Right off the faceoff. See, last game we said we had to pay attention, and I did. Jim, they scored.
Whoa. Well, whoa. Well, Nylander, yes, the point streak goes to 13. He's already set that franchise record, but it's his first goal after going 4 without. And this is a face-off win, and Nylander simply drifts in from the right point. Austin Matthews will get an assist. And I believe Tavares will as well. Tavares won it back. Matthews shoveled it back to the right point to Nylander. And he sails it up and over the left glove of Korpisalo. And the Leafs have struck first.
4 seconds into the power play, and they have the opening goal of the game.
What?
Power play, and they have the opening goal of the game.
Ottawa actually scored the opening goal in 7 of their 10 games coming in.
This is the 3rd straight game the Leafs have scored the opening goal. And it is shot down into the Ottawa zone. I don't believe we've seen, well, no, Korpisalo. Long time in Columbus, and now his first
in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially it wasn't a trade, but Cam Talbot, Korpisalo switched teams.
5-4-0 against the Leafs over his career. Klingberg gets tangled up, and then a good bit of back checking there by Nick Robertson deflected a pass into the corner. Round back of the net goes Klingberg. Looks up ice, and an errant pass is well in behind Robertson. And an icing call is going to come here against Tavares, drawing an additional assist on the goal.
And that's one of the concerns about Klingberg, isn't it? It's just some of the decision making. We see him get beat one-on-one or cough the puck up, and has, without a lot of pressure, has the puck in the corner to the right of Joseph Wall and ends up launching that. I mean, it wasn't close to anybody.
Pass on the left wing for Robertson. He backhands it ahead, but was just out of the reach of Yarncrook. And so an icing call again. And the first period is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Right to the left of Joseph Wall, and a shot off the side of the goal, right off the face-off. At the point, another shot, scores! A blast from the point from Kubalik. And Wall kind of got caught.
Does this go under the pad?
Yeah, I think so.
Or off his skate? And Mark Giordano at the last second.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph, and we've got Armin Zagarian running the operation, Andrew Holland and his Austin Mackey back at Command Central. Andrew Adams. All right. So we have the face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the right.
Well, the Senators, by the way, have missed the playoffs 6 straight seasons. Their last appearance was when they went to the conference finals in 2017. Their coach, Guy Boucher, is now an assistant alongside Sheldon Keefe in Toronto.
Here the sharp angle shot hit the side of the net and the goalpost, and as it fell down to the side, Wall pounces on it. A draw coming to the right of the Maple Leaf goaltender. A 1-1 tie. Kubalik for Ottawa, Nylander for the Maple Leafs. Tavares running out of real estate, but the puck comes free to Morgan Riley. He'll skate it to center. Dagnall shooting into the right wing corner for Bertuzzi. He couldn't get there in time. And Tarasenko gets the puck out at center for Sanderson. Sanderson in on the left wing, goes wide. Took a shot at the net, hit the side of the goal, and Nylander's coming back the other way with it. Dropping it back. Bertuzzi gets it in front of the goal, and it trickled just wide. Centering pass then by Nylander off a stick. And all the way down to goaltender Wall, who will play off onto the wing to Giordano. Giordano looks for Riley, but decides to carry it out himself. Got it ahead. Matthews, fresh off the bench, sends it down into the zone. Matthews back to the goal, blocked the centering pass, comes in front, a shot by Klingberg was wired wide of the net. Giordano to Marner, shot in traffic, kicked aside by Korpisalo. Here's Matthews. Near side, a shot. Korpisalo got in front of that. Nyes was providing the screen. To the point, Klingberg. Off on the wing to Matthews. Back to the blue line. Shot coming. And into the glove of Korpisalo. Held for a face-off in the Ottawa zone. So a 1-1 tie midway through the first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare, and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-man truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name. 2 men in a truck, movers are not the same. So that's our company name. 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nyes has tied the game, but a brilliant play by Max Domi
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, we got to give a shout out. Happy birthday, 75 years young, the Buckaroo. Buck Martinez is 75.
Oh, happy birthday, Buck. Yeah. Great voice, and it was great to see him back in full form this past season.
Yeah, sure was.
Great voice, and it was great to see him back in full form this past season.
Yeah, sure was. Yeah, whether he's behind the dish or behind a mic, been a big part of Toronto sports, hasn't he? Played out at center ice and down into the Leaf end, forcing Klingberg back. Chased hard there by Joseph. It comes around to the near side. The Leafs getting it elevated, but not out. Grabbed back now by Giordano, who got it ahead for Nylander. He's going to return the favor. And Mark Giordano now with a backhand pass to get it up on the wing for Tavares, but had it knocked off his stick. Sens try to work back in over the line, but Nylander with good positioning intercepted off his stick. Sens try to work back in over the line, but Nylander with good positioning intercepted that pass. Now Klingberg comes to center and gives it back to Willie. Nylander in on the right side, dropping it off for Bertuzzi. Oh, and a redirection in front of the net to Tavares. But a good save by Korpisalo, who got down low to smother that redirect.
And Tavares a little unfortunate that the rebound didn't come right back out, because Korpisalo was moving to his left, and that's where Tavares redirected it. If it pops out the other way, Tavares might have been able just to tap it into the empty net. For Tavares, it has been 3 games without a point and just 1 goal in his last 5.
Face off to the right, Domi out with Yarncrook and Robertson. Leafs keep the puck in momentarily, but it bounces to center ice. Domi settles it down and then launches it high into the right wing corner. Yarncrook in pursuit with a good hit. Domi missed his man, but the puck along the boards is punched out at center ice, but good back checking there by Yarncrook frees it up. Domi to the line, and Robertson couldn't get into the zone. Sens bring it right back, play it off the far boards and into the Toronto end. Brody and Riley getting it up on the wing. Reeves fails to get it out. Domi does. Robertson couldn't get it in deep, but is right at the Leaf bench, so he heads for a change. 4th line out here for the Maple Leafs with 6:40 to play in the period. Sens send it right back into the Toronto end. William Lagesson taken to the boards, but got it freed up for Camp. Camp tried to backhand it ahead. Reeves couldn't come up with it. Reeves plays it to the line, but doesn't get it out.
Boy, too many shifts like this for the 4th line, isn't there?
It is. Yep. You got to get the puck in and out. Now here's a chance. Gregor couldn't get a shot away as they get it down into the Ottawa zone. Played out at center. Gregor up ahead, trying to burst through. Was Marner coming off the bench, but it was knocked off his stick. Senators back at center and will launch it into the near corner. Pass in front of the net, knocked by the Leafs back out into the center ice area. Nyes gives chase, and the Sens have sent an errant pass down into the Leaf end. 5:35 good to go in the first period. Score tied at 1s and an icing call.
It is hard to believe that the Leafs in their first 6 home games have given up the most goals in their first 6 games of a season since the 1990-91 season. A little different back then, the scoring, wasn't there? The Leafs had 4 goalies that year. If you can remember them. Kenny Reagan was gone.
Rick St. Clair?
Nope.
Nope. Shot deflects and punched out to the blue line, then kept in by the Maple Leafs.
Now, Ellen Bester, longtime teammate of Reagan, was there. Jeff Reese, Peter Ring, and Damian Rhodes played 1 game.
Wow.
As part of useless information, I believe Damian Rhodes' first game was in Detroit, and he beat the Red Wings.
Well, that was before Cliff Fletcher arrived on the scene.
Or Pat Burns. And
arrived on the scene.
Or Pat Burns. And right before
Doug Gilmour and
Felix Potvin.
Yep.
Yes, Grant Fuhr wasn't there by then either.
No. Now here's Bertuzzi to Tavares, tried to return the favor, but it was blocked. They battle for it in the near corner. And the Senators. No. Now here's Bertuzzi to Tavares, tried to return the favor, but it was blocked. They battle for it in the near corner. And the Senators will break it out into neutral ice. Brought to the line by Sanderson. He works to the left wing boards for it to play it back at the Toronto goal. Morgan Riley for Tavares. Tavares lugs it to the line, but it kind of got bogged down there, and Bertuzzi was put offside. So a face-off coming in neutral ice when we return. Leafs won and the Senators won. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With the Colts and Patriots playing 5,000 miles away in Frankfurt, Germany, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to not only help Patriots playing 5,000 miles away in Frankfurt, Germany. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to not only help you win, but also to teach you the local language. Fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Belichick in Lederhosen.
Belichick tragt Lederhosen.
Set your lineups by 9:30 a.m. in the East.
Stellen Sie Ihre Aufstellungen bis 39 Uhr ein.
On Fantasy Sports Radio or anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Hören Sie nicht auf, Sirius XM 87 Fantasy Sports Radio und die Sirius XM App zu hören.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC.
What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM Network.
Nylander with his 7th of the year from Matthews and Tavares on the power play. Kubalik from Cleven and Juventi are the assists.
I just saw a clip, a TV broadcast of Joseph Wall. We talk about him tracking the puck and following, deflecting it right up in the air and following it back down to the ice.
A draw outside the blue line. Domi was able to scrum it enough to get the possession, and the Leafs shoot it down into the Ottawa zone. Domi in with a pretty good hit. The puck comes all the way back down into the Leaf end, but icing's going to be waved off as Lagesson couldn't beat his man to the puck. Down into the corner, Tarasenko trying to drag it along with his stick. Now comes out of the scrum with it. Tarasenko has it knocked off his stick to the line, and Yarncrook is there to play it ahead. Now Domi unable to handle a pass on the left wing, and the Sens have sent it down into the Toronto end. Both teams are changing. Morgan Riley to center. Launches a high backhand down into the zone. Chipped around the boards. Camp to Reeves. Reeves sends it back to David Camp, who is tied up. The puck comes free. And the Senators will bring it to center, and it is shot by Bernard Docker into the Leaf end. Centering pass into the slot, and just flipping it and missing it. In that spot was Josh Norris. He was right in position A, and it bounced over his stick. Brody back in his own zone now for Toronto. Got it up ahead for Matthews. Sliding in on the left wing. Little drag, and now a backhand. Stopped by the goaltender. Comes back to the point. Marner fans on a pass. He got a nice feed there from Klingberg, but then kind of fanned on the one-timer. Sends back in their own zone. Matthew Joseph got it up on the right side, and Giroux wires it down into the Leaf end. Nyes had it knocked off his stick, played around the boards near corner. Giroux works it back to the point, a long shot in traffic, another shot that was stopped by Wall, who came across. Leaf defenseman has broken his stick. Klingberg without one. And the Leafs are going to get it freed up, and now Matthews comes to center. Matthews in over the line. On the wing for Nyes. Backhand went off his stick and up into the screen and out of play.
Well, both teams very close to getting the go-ahead goal here in the opening period. Now, if you wonder the importance of draft picks, the Ottawa Senators gave up a first-round pick to get Matt Duchene from Colorado. That first-round pick ended up being Bowen Byram. The Senators then got a first-round pick from San Jose in the Erik Karlsson deal. That turned out to be Tim Stützle. So when you hear those first-round picks being thrown around, sometimes they're rather significant ones.
Leafs win the face-off. Riley at the left point sends it purposely wide, and Tavares then tried to chip it to the net, but it was deflected into the corner. And the Sens get it out at center ice. Speaking of which, our congratulations to the San Jose Sharks on their first win of the year. 2-1 decision over Philadelphia. And everybody else is breathing easier. Launched high to center ice. Sens go back into their own zone with Chychrun. Center ice. Sens go back into their own zone with Chychrun. Played up on the wing. Cut off there by Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi tried to make a pass for Klingberg, but now it's knocked back, or by Benoit rather. It's knocked into the corner. Nylander side of the net. Tavares tried to go upstairs, but it went off the shoulder of Korpisalo. Played back down on a rolling puck into the Leaf end. Icing waved off, and Benoit gets it to his defense partner, and Tavares gets it out at center. Sens can't get into the Leafs out at center. Sens can't get into the Leafs zone cleanly. Played off the boards to center. Matthews slides by one. Matthews in on the left. Toe drag move, he's in! Oh, what a save by Korpisalo! Brilliant glove save. Matthews to the backhand. And he is robbed.
Korpisalo does a great job staying with Matthews, but Matthews, because he draws it from his forehand to his backhand, Korpisalo has to throw the glove up, or this puck's in. 12-10 to Sin. 12-10, the shots favoring the Leafs, but for Korpisalo, that's his best save of this game.
Draw won by Ottawa. Nyes is able to free it up for Matthews. Back to the point. Klingberg got it back into the slot area. Marner couldn't do much with it. And then when Matthews sends it back to the point, Giordano had evacuated. Leafs get it again and send it back into Ottawa territory. Really, Mark Giordano had no other choice. Now here are the Sens back in. Stützle into the corner. Knocked off his stick momentarily. Pushed up on the corner. Knocked off his stick momentarily. Pushed up on the wing for Nyes. Nyes for Matthews. Matthews to center. Now he's going to circle back as his teammates are changing. Matthews to center. Flips it in. Now he'll go to the bench. Riley with 5 seconds left in the period. Gets it back to the point. Giordano with a shot, and it missed the net.
That might have been close.
That would have been close, yeah.
Low shot through traffic. Well, Korpisalo seemed to track it all the way as it just sifted wide of the left post.
12-10, the Leafs outshoot the Ottawa Senators. 12-10, the Leafs outshoot the Ottawa Senators. A little better first period than the other night when they were down 4-1. But a 1-1 tie with Nylander scoring his 7th, Kubalik his 3rd.
Yeah, a decent start, but again, I think they probably gave up more than they would have liked, and are going to have to tighten up a little more in the second period. Well, actually, in all periods going forward, because the goals against at home have been rather significant.
Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming your way with our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The seasons are changing.
All the leaves are brown.
But there's always time for fun. In the sun, the Beach Boys transport you to summer with the return of their limited edition channel. Good vibrations. The Beach Boys channel. Now for a limited time, exclusively on the Sirius XM app. Just search Beach Boys.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Under review. It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance, because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Curran. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league is talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
One thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius. If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and
what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs on the power play. 3 of 17 in their last 5 games. 11 of 41 overall. Nylander in, scores! Right off the faceoff.
Welcome back to Molson. Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs tied 1-1 after 20 minutes versus Sens in the Battle of Ontario at Scotiabank Arena on a Wednesday night. But the story, and you heard it from Bonesy there, is William Nylander, 13 straight games with a point to start this season. Still's got the record going, but he took a little bit of a different route to work this evening.
Yeah, it appears he did. We didn't know if it was real or not, but I guess it's made the broadcast and it's made Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. It looks like he took the Red Rocket to the game. I don't know if this has been the routine for him on this 13-game run for him, but I need Brady Tkachuk's honesty on this 13-game run for him. But I need Brady Tkachuk's honesty from William Nylander after the game on this subject. I need to know why he took the TTC. I want to know what the utility, why the car wasn't the play. I want to know why William Nylander took the TTC to the game. I think we deserve that.
All over the internet, and of course our broadcast on Sportsnet was a photo of William Nylander on the TTC in a coat with a hood up, just sitting there waiting to be driven and chauffeured to his destination by TTC. I don't know if they're listening, but this is peak promotion opportunity for them. They need to have 88-cent Maple Leafs nights where you tap your Presto and it's 88 cents to ride the Rocket. It's
pretty good
I
idea.
mean, Maple Leafs nights where you tap your Presto and it's 88 cents to ride the Rocket. It's
pretty good
I
idea.
mean, free advice here, TTC. There's something for you. They've got to get Willie, like, his face on the car. When the TTC pulls up at the station and there's the window, they need to have a fake side shot of William Nylander so it looks like he's there. Wait, is that no, that's fake Willie. That's what they need to do.
Okay, there's a lot of ideas there for the TTC to continue.
There's two free ones.
To take this
you can
to
send
the
me
next
the
level.
check.
I mean, any mode of transportation is a gamble, but I feel like there is some gamble with TTC if you're an NHL player and for whatever reason it doesn't get you to where you need to go, because sometimes you got to take alternate routes, and I'm an NHL player and for whatever reason it doesn't get you to where you need to go, because sometimes you got to take alternate routes, and I don't know. It just feels like a gamble for an NHL player, but apparently a lot of players have done it.
It was kind of raining.
Maybe
so
that was
it's
it. Protect the hair.
People can't drive in the rain, and I think maybe just
That's true.
hop on the streetcar or subway and you head down. Anyway.
Well, he protected his point scoring streak. It's
did.
been a wonderful start to the season, of course, for William Nylander. He scores 4 seconds into a power play for the Maple Leafs
A beauty,
to give
too.
them the 1-0 lead, and it's just all William Nylander all the time. It seems for this group, and this season it's been a spectacular year, and he just continues to produce game after game after game.
Among active players, Nylander's 13-game point streak right now to start the season is second only behind Connor McDavid. McDavid went 17 straight games in the 2021-22 season with a consecutive point. So he's got a couple more to go there. But, I mean, like this one just bang right off the beginning of the game. It's like, okay, now let's look ahead to tomorrow and to Friday and Saturday, and you can get a couple more there. 13's pretty impressive.
And we're not at that point yet. I mean, maybe he'll start thinking about it soon. Maybe he'll start thinking about McDavid soon. But when Mitch Marner went on his point streak last year, it was the prime storyline. It was like waiting on whether or not he'd get the point to keep it going. There was a lot of drama in the building when Mitch Marner was out there trying to prolong that streak. Definitely not at that point yet, but I wonder now through 13 games, he's more than halfway to Mitch Marner's point streak record with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I wonder if all that went into last year will be lost in vain with William Nylander to start the season.
That point streak by Mitch Marner last year, so 23 games was as long as it went. He had 11 goals and 21 assists during that run. It was hysterical. I was at every game last year because I was the arena host. So every time that it would be nearing halfway through the third period. If Marner hadn't had a point yet, you could feel the energy every time he got the puck, or if there was a pass that someone didn't score on, it was like, oh, come on, get it for Marner.
There was a shift too where like he missed an empty net and it was like over and over and he finally got it. Yeah.
He tried multiple times. I remember that game, tried multiple times for the empty net. And everybody in the crowd knew. Even there was times where he would get a point, and maybe it was like during like he was in like game 19. He got a point halfway through the second period. It was like a second assist. Oh, goal scored by Matthews, assist by William Nylander and Mitch Marner were like, Mitch Marner! Like it was the thing willing the Maple Leafs through the first 21 games or 28 games that it took him to get there. But I think Nylander a bit more muted, but we will see. This is 13 games. It's a pretty impressive start to the season. We can't get much better than that. So we'll see how this one goes down the rest of this the start of the season. But William Nylander got the Maple Leafs on the board early, but the Sens score not long after. It's been the story of the Leafs season, a goal, and then the momentum sucked away within a minute or two.
Yeah, Dominique Kubalik tying it up for the Senators. Bit of a weird goal. It didn't seem like much was happening on the shift. Didn't look like a highly dangerous situation, but Mark Giordano maybe got caught napping just a little bit and tried to jump out of the way of Joseph Woll's screen at the last second and maybe did more harm than good. Maybe not the best shot that you wanted beating Joseph Woll, but I think he had a bit of a built-in excuse of it. But it looked pretty clear that Mark Giordano felt like something was off, or he did something wrong based on his reaction on the goal.
All right, Leafs and Sens knotted up at 1 after one period. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with some more thoughts before we send it to the second period. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding.
Giroux goal.
So Giroux from Joseph and Stutzla as the Senators up 2-1.
Played down into the...
I'll tell you the significance.
I know, yes. This is turning into the Twilight Zone.
I know.
Here's Nyes playing it down into the Ottawa zone. Hustles in after it, but can't get there in time. Bernard Docker played it around on the boards, cut off by Matthews. Austin Matthews into the slot. A shot. And Marner behind Korpisalo. Sens play to an open wing. And we'll get there, and Kelly has sent it down into the Leaf end, and an icing call coming as a result.
Now, one of the things I do, part of my pregame ritual,
preparation. No.
I have the video game on PlayStation, and I always play it. I put the lines together as they are on daily face-off and make sure I've got the right guys in the lineup. And, of course, I played it this afternoon.
Yeah.
And at this point in the second period, the score is 2-1 for Ottawa.
Really? This afternoon?
Giroux had the go-ahead goal.
Another shot, scores off the face.
Giroux had the go-ahead goal.
Another shot, scores off the face-off. Bertuzzi gets the goal. Who scored this afternoon?
Nylander and Bertuzzi. Each had him. And again, a quick goal right off a face-off. And for Bertuzzi, it's his first even strength of the season. And Nylander, I think, is going to pick up another point as well. Tavares wins the important face-off. Nylander's shot is blocked right in front of Korpisalo, and it goes onto the stick of Bertuzzi. Nylander's shot is blocked right in front of Korpisalo, and it goes onto the stick of Bertuzzi. And the Leafs have tied it.
You'd better finish this.
My God.
Who won the game this afternoon?
Well, the Leafs scored first with Nylander, fell behind 2-1 and Giroux's goal, and then came back and won it 4-2. By the way, Matthews and Matthew Nyes also score. So, for those of you listening, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes. Call Vegas as soon as you can. Here the Sens in across the line. Intercepted. Rolling puck in front. Knocked away there by goaltender Wall. And pushed out at center. And Nylander's in a bit of a foot race to get a loose puck. Right wing side. Pulls up at the circle. Lost the handle on it. And the Sens Stutzla is back in his own zone. Long lead pass. Joseph got to the lead blue line and sent it in. Giordano. Back to the goal for Marner.
Tyler Bertuzzi.
Here are the Leafs in across the line with Matthews. Rebound in front of the goal, almost knocked in. Marner into the slot. Marner won't shoot it. Still with it though. Knocked it back now, and here's Nyes turning. Back to the point. Played off the boards into the corner. Nyes unable to get freed up, and the Sens will get it out at center ice. Jarventi sending it down into the Leaf end. Nyes gets some skating room to his liking, but being hounded from behind. Got it up on the wing, and Lagesson sends it into the zone. Get a change of players going. Leafs 2 and the Sens 2. Teams trading goals here fairly quickly to start the second period. 1:04 for Giroux. 4:16 the time of the goal for Tyler Bertuzzi. Morgan Riley plays the puck out. Won't have enough to go for icing. Hustling after it there is Robertson. Robertson down into the corner. Yarncrook trying to stay free. Got it into the corner for Domi. Penalty coming. And a shot off the side of the goal, and it's touched by the Lightning, and the Leafs go to the power play. Took them 4 seconds to score on their first opportunity. A 2-2 tie. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet.
5 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier, because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green.
We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face-off coming in the Ottawa zone. You know, if you were that good at video games, why aren't you good at coming up with stocks that we should purchase?
Well, there's a video game stock.
Yes,
still talking about
maybe we should have bought that.
Yeah, well, but I just thought today, because I was pretty close against Tampa, I actually had the Leafs lose 6-5 in overtime to Tampa.
Leafs win the face-off into the slot area. Klingberg dishes off on the left wing. Pass down low, looking for Matthews in front, and it was deflected away from him. Klingberg dishes off on the left wing. Pass down low, looking for Matthews in front, and it was deflected away from him. Klingberg down the right wing to Matthews on the left side. Power play for the Maple Leafs. Matthews closes in a shot. Went off a leg to the near wing. And then Nylander's pass is intercepted by Parker Kelly. He'll bring it down into the zone. Long shot swallowed up there by Wall. Will bring a face-off in the Toronto end. Leafs with 1:34 to go on the power play. And the number one unit remains out there. Leafs open the scoring on Nylander's 7th. Leafs open the scoring on Nylander's 7th on the power play in the first period, and this time Tavares wins the face-off again. Klingberg working the point on the power play here. It was Morgan Riley who kind of took over in the game against Tampa. Leafs get it into the zone. Tavares down into the corner, but it's cut off by Sanderson, and he got it up on the wing far enough to have it shot down the ice. Wall, back of his own goal, plays off to Klingberg, and Klingberg starts back up ice. Works to the red line, played it off to Tavares, drop back for Matthews. Matthews to Nylander, played it off to Tavares, drop back for Matthews. Matthews to Nylander, cross the line, got it returned. Nylander trying to play it back to the blue line, and it's intercepted. And now the Sens breaking. Matthew Joseph into the slot area. Sanderson a shot. Blockered away nicely there by Wall. 40 seconds left in the power play. And the Leafs have gotten into the zone, but then made poor choices in trying to get set up. Nyes playing it back into his own territory. The rest of the first unit is heading to the bench. Morgan Riley works to the line and in. Weaves to the left wing corner. Knocked the stick out of the hands of one of the line and in. Weaves to the left wing corner. Knocked the stick out of the hands of one of the Ottawa defenders. Now Nyes in the near corner. Back into the slot for Matthews. Got it back again from Bertuzzi. Matthews with it in the corner. Back to the point, Yarn Crook. Now to Riley, to Matthews. Back to Matt Riley and a shot. Whistled wide off the glass, and it's cleared to the line, but not out. I think that was Matthews heading to the bench. Centering pass. Oh, what a chance there was there. And it went over the stick of Yarncrook. Another centering pass looking for Bertuzzi doesn't work. Kelly for Ottawa playing it back, hoping to get a change going here for the Sens. 11 minutes left to play here in the second period.
Well, Bertuzzi might have just avoided getting a penalty. Kind of a one-handed slash.
Pass to the line. Patherson got it in, but then it's turned over, and now Reeves sends a nice pass up on the left wing side. Noah Gregor going wide. Couldn't wrap it around the net. Goes back to the goal with it again. Now trying to flip it in front. That was blocked. Reeves chipping it into the corner. Barges in there with a hit. And back of the goal goes Jake Sanderson. Sanderson taking his time. Good young defenseman for the Ottawa Senators.
Signed a recent contract extension for Ottawa in the offseason that raised some eyebrows.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Lagesson misfires on a pass for Robertson. It slides down into the Ottawa end. Chip back out at center. Going across the line for Kubalik, and with a shot, and that went high over top of the lead goal. Robertson gets it out at center, but Domi can't help him out. And Stützle turns in the center ice area to play it into the Leaf end, where it's chipped right back out again. Chychrun backpedaling in his own end. A 2-2 tie here in the second period. Brought in by Matthew Joseph in with a shot. Off a stick, and it goes up into the screen and out of play.
By the way, Joe, before we run to commercial, Armin has informed me that with the point to the assist by John Tavares, career point number 989 of his career, he ties Paul Kariya for 100th in NHL history.
All right.
In his career, he ties Paul Kariya for 100th in NHL history.
All right. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Santa baby, bring on the merry and bring on the bright. Sing along with modern holiday hits on Holly, Channel 79, or revisit Christmas Past with the nostalgic sound of holiday traditions on Channel 71.
Christmas.
Listen now through Christmas Day and enjoy dozens of unique holiday channels anytime you want in the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance, because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Radio Network.
Face-off coming in the circle to the left. Goaltender Joseph Wall, who came into the game with a 2.30 goals against average. Wall, who came into the game with a 2.30 goals against average and a .930 save percentage. 18 shots apiece thus far, and the face-off wasn't done according to Hoyle, and so it'll be. But do you know who Hoyle was, by the way?
He's a card player.
Do you know what that?
He's a card player.
Yes. And wrote some important rules about playing cards.
According to who?
Hoyle. Down into the Ottawa zone. The Leafs trying to pressure the defense here. Sanderson against the boards. Had it knocked back of the net. Tavares unable to get to it, and it'll be shot down the ice. But Tavares unable to get to it, and it'll be shot down the ice, but icing waved off. Wall out of the cage, plays it ahead for Nylander, who's going to bank it out at center ice, and Domi has it. On to Bertuzzi. Domi, the return pass from Bertuzzi was way behind him. And now the Sens will shoot it right back into the Leaf end. Wall out of the cage to chip it along for Klingberg. Got it up on the wing. Yarncrook got it back. Brought right back in, though, by Ottawa. Down the boards is Tarasenko, and he shot the puck wide of the net. And it is tipped by Robertson out at center ice. This line played very well against Tampa. Here's a pass in front of the net. Oh, what a save! This line played very well against Tampa. Here's a pass in front of the net. Oh, what a save! Made by Wall. A beautiful feed from Tarasenko in on goal, and all alone was Jarvetti. But Wall went right with him.
The defenseman got caught a bit on a line change as Klingberg went to the bench. And in behind everyone is Jarvetti, who moves in on Wall and goes forehand back, and almost the exact same move Austin Matthews made in the first period on Korpisalo. And with the exact same result, with the goaltender coming up with a big save.
Face off to the right of.
And with the exact same result, with the goaltender coming up with a big save.
Face off to the right of Wall. A pass into the slot. Sprawling to block that was Benoit. Another shot in traffic went high over top of the net. Played around back of the goal now for Tarasenko. Tarasenko had it knocked off his stick, but is able to get it back to the blue line. Long shot in traffic, blocked, rebound in front, and it went right through the legs of its intended receiver, Tarasenko, or he had an empty net. Sens keep it alive. Played off on the right wing. A shot goes wide of the Leaf goal. Comes to the left point for Chychrun. Chychrun gives the puck away to Nyes. One-handed it ahead, but well out of the reach of Mitch Marner. Sens get it back into neutral ice and into the Leaf zone. Onto the left wing side for Norris. Played around to the far side for Tkachuk. Tkachuk is knocked down. Out comes Matthews. Left wing side. And as he pulled up just a little bit, Tavares was put offside on the rush. Play whistled dead with 7:20 to go, second period, and we're tied at 2.
John Tavares on the night, at least won 55% of the faceoffs. Tavares has won 11 of 15. And of course, 2 of the 11 directly led to Toronto Maple Leaf goals. Power play goal by Nylander in the first period, and then Tyler Bertuzzi's tying goal here in the second.
And as you mentioned, Tavares now tied with the 100th most points ever in the National Hockey League. That's a tremendous career, isn't it?
Even when you consider, you almost would have thought Paul Carrillo would have been higher than 100th, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But it goes to show you what an accomplishment it is.
A pass ahead, finds Tavares to the line, flipped into the right wing corner. Oakville native in pursuit, but it goes back to the goal. Clevin runs into traffic. Centering effort there by Bertuzzi was blocked. And the Sens will get it out into the center ice area. Leafs 2 and the Senators 2. Klingberg works back through neutral ice and in. Into the slot area on the backhand, and it rolled off his stick. Into the slot area on the backhand, and it rolled off his stick. Never did get the shot to the net. Good play by Camp to keep it alive. Klingberg back to the blue line. Sends a shot in on a Klingberg back to the blue line. Sends a shot in on a deflection in front of the net. Reeves whacking and hacking. Didn't make contact. Then Giordano a shot. May have hit Reeves right in the seat of the pants. Reeves into the corner. And it is Clevin getting it up on the right wing side, and a long shoot in. Goes down into the left wing corner and around back of the Toronto goal. Jacob Chychrun set up in front of the net, and the fourth line is on for another goal against.
A very easy goal for Ottawa. John Klingberg also, Joe, does a little bit of a flyby in behind the Leaf net. And that left nobody in the high slot to cover as Gregor spun off his man, and then Klingberg just kind of waved at it. He got stuck in behind the net. And the puck was worked out to the slot. Chychrun read the play and moved right down. And you're right, the fourth line on again. Well, Ryan Reeves coming in was -8, so tack another one on there. And 5:54 to go here in the second period. And the Leafs find themselves down a goal once more.
Shot into the Toronto zone off the face-off. Morgan Riley couldn't come up with it. Stützle in the corner. Lost the handle on it. The Leafs get it ahead and now brought out at center ice. A lead pass for Robertson. Dropping it back. Domi, a shot. That's blocked. Here's Brody working in. Brody works around back of the net. Works to the far corner. Gets it back into the slot area. Then has it returned. Dishes it off for Domi, a shot. And from an angle, it's handled easily by Korpisalo to stop play. 5:23 to go, second period. The Leafs trail for the second time in the game, 3-2. 23 to go, second period. The Leafs trail for the second time in the game, 3-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Do more in a
Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Ottawa Senators have the lead once again, 3-2. Don Klingberg -3 on the night you mentioned.
Yeah, as well as Mark Giordano. So that pair has been out for all three Ottawa Senators goals tonight.
Draw one by Toronto. Fed around back of the net for Nye. Centering pass. Matthews was there, but it rolled off his stick before he could deliver the shot. Sens bring it back and slip it into the Leaf zone with Joseph getting it around. Stützle getting it back to the point. Played back in behind the goal around to the near corner. Marner was able to get there, but then lost the puck to Joseph, who gives it away to Brody. Brody against the boards. Matthews plays to an open wing that Riley will get to, but can't hook up with Marner. Joseph with it again. Down the left wing boards. Riley stepped into him as it goes around back of the net. TJ Brody finds Riley. Pass ahead at center for Nyes. And the Leafs are changing, so Riley gets the pass back in his own end and fed it ahead. Nyes for Tavares. Tavares had it taken away from him by Jacob Chikrin. Nylander after the loose puck to Bertuzzi. Back to Nylander, closing into the slot. A shot and a good glove save made by Korpisalo.
I think he was going for the exact same spot he hit in the opening period when Nylander opened the scoring. But this one a little further out from the Ottawa net. 4:15 to go. Ottawa leading 3-2. Despite outshooting the Leafs 21-19. Korpisalo might have been guessing a bit here because he knew exactly where it was going.
Shot from the point by Lagesson was kicked aside by Korpisalo. Lagesson again at the point. Played it into the corner. Charging down the boards is Giordano as it comes back to the blue line. Lagesson with it again. Down around back of the net for Tavares, trying to get it in front. Lagesson and Giordano now a tandem. Here's Riley trying to... Giordano now a tandem. Here's Riley trying to get in front, or Nylander trying to get in front. Sends it to the side of the goal. Korpisalo's going to pounce on it. So the juggling may be at the back end. As I
think they get a defense pair, -3 in the first half of the game. It's time to reassess. I'll tell you something, Simon Benoit has not looked out of place. Lagesson, I think, has looked steady. So the depth is being tested. Lagesson, I think, has looked steady. So the depth is being tested. Jake McCabe might be a little closer to coming back than Connor Timmins.
Brody and Riley out now with the Domi line as the Sens bring it to center and in on the right side. Shot in wide of the Leaf goal. Norris punches it back into the corner. Brody tying it up along the boards.
They seem to control the pace of the game because they're chasing it again here tonight.
A 3-2 Ottawa lead to chat about. Ailish Forfire along with Justin Cuthbert will be along. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
A game-winning home run by Derek Jeter.
They are legends and icons.
The Lakers take the lead on Magic Johnson's running skyhook.
And you can hear them right now on the Sirius XM app.
We got Magic Johnson here.
Everybody got all these shows. They've been hounding me. I said, I'm only doing one, and that's Eddie Johnson. Anytime you guys need me, I'm here.
Legendary Derek Jeter. Welcome to Black Diamonds.
Thanks for having me. I've been waiting for the invitation.
For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio. Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league has talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing
out right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The one thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? He'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. You need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. He had all these good players around him. Hey, wait a minute. He was good, but he wasn't that good. He had all these good players around him. Hey, wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Curran. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What?
Around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Another shot scores off the faceoff. Bertuzzi gets the goal.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 3-2 after 2 periods to the Ottawa Senators at Scotiabank Arena. And yeah, Bertuzzi got on the score sheet a nice even strength goal, which is something that they had all been searching for, specifically anyone not in the core four. I think it felt great for him, but the Leafs still losing that period, headed into the third down a goal.
Yeah, was not a great period for the Maple Leafs. This has not been a particularly strong game for the Maple Leafs, and the calendar has flipped to November, so it is a bit odd to see the Maple Leafs.
You said that they're undefeated ever in
not undefeated, but pretty close.
They've never lost a game.
This is when things
November.
start to look better, but unfortunately, when the likes of John Klingberg and Mark Giordano are playing together on a pairing that's getting a lot of minutes, a lot of run on an injured blue line, it's going to be hard to keep pucks out of your own net. I mean, these guys are the league leaders in on-ice goals against, and they've extended that because they've been on the ice for all 3 goals against all 3 goals for the Ottawa Senators tonight. It's been a bit of a comedy of errors, especially for John Klingberg, who's running around, falling on pivots, unable to track in transition. Like, these guys are struggling out there, and as long as they remain a pairing, it feels like it's going to be difficult for the Maple Leafs to find their full form.
Yeah, Klingberg looks unplayable currently. Unfortunately, the Maple Leafs have no other options currently. And I know plus minus, like you can look at, they were -3, whatever, but they are at fault for the goals. Like, there is this one video circulating on Twitter. Yeah, you'll see it. And all 5 Leafs players, including the 2 defensemen, but all 5 of them look like when you watch Timbits hockey and everyone kind of standing around, it looked like Timbits players versus NHLers. Or when you play that NHL bubble hockey and you can only move on the straight line with the stick. That's what they looked like. They didn't move. So I'm not sure if it was lack of communication on those goals, but they were standing still watching the Ottawa Senators take 3, 4, 5 attempts to score on Joseph Woll. Eventually did. Joseph Woll didn't also have his best period. A couple of those goals looked a bit shaky, but nonetheless, everybody is standing around, not like laying the body, tying up a stick, clearing the puck. It was a very, very messy defensive period.
Yeah, a lot of drive-bys from John Klingberg, and it's been this way the whole season. I mean, we're in game number 13.
Clearing the puck, it was a very, very messy defensive period.
Yeah, a lot of drive-bys from John Klingberg, and it's been this way the whole season. I mean, we're in game number 13 right now. He's been on the ice for 15 goals against at even strength. I mean, averaging more than 1 per at this point at even strength is not a good look for any defenseman, let alone one that's trying to make a first impression and justify what was a fairly large salary awarded to him despite a tough season. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was really the only change to this blue line from last season to this, and he's not been able to improve it whatsoever. We should highlight, one positive to this blue line from last season to this, and he's not been able to improve it whatsoever. We should highlight, one positive, and that is the faceoffs of John Tavares. And I mean, if we're doing the longevity thing, the thing that John Klingberg is struggling with, I mean, John Tavares he still has mastery of the offensive zone, and 2 face-off wins leading directly to goals. Yes, there's some fortune there, but he's the guy who can do everything inside the blue line for the Toronto Maple Leafs, at least in terms of attack. And now he's up to 989 points for his career. We're closing in on 1,000. There will be a celebration for John Tavares soon.
Yeah, he ties Paul Kariya for 100th in NHL history, so he's getting up there. So if it's 11 more points, so he's getting up there. So if it's 11 more points, I hope it will. But I think it better not happen when they're in Sweden. They've got 1, 2.
No. Well, I mean, he
3,
could.
There's 3, 4. There's 4 more games.
I guess it's possible. I mean, that's okay. It can happen in Sweden.
No, I would like him to do it when he's here at home.
They celebrate the beautiful game there. And
yeah, that's true. But the game's at 8 a.m. I wanted to do a nice game that we have in Toronto. Anyway, but no, that he has been pretty. I mean, he's the face of consistency. To start this season, he's been pretty good. We thought that maybe there would be that point where he would decline, and so far so good. Bertuzzi's goal. We talked about it briefly there, the one of the period for the Maple Leafs, but it was funny watching him score. He was very stoic, and everybody was about it briefly there, the one of the period for the Maple Leafs, but it was funny watching him score. He was very stoic, and everybody was fired up for him. Like, yeah, buddy, like jumping into the boards. And he's kind of had this like, it's all good face. But that one felt good for him.
Yeah, it should have. And credit to him, because before he scored, he looked like a much better version of Tyler Bertuzzi, throwing the body around a little bit more engaged. It looked like the offensive game was a little bit more dangerous. It looked like there was more connectivity with him and William Nylander and John Tavares. It was just a better effort from Tyler Bertuzzi before the puck went into the net, and usually those things are correlated. So good on him. Leafs need one more in the third period at least to push this to overtime.
A couple positives, but I think a few more negatives in that period than the first.
Push this to overtime.
A couple positives, but I think a few more negatives in that period than the first. We'll come back with a little bit more insight and thoughts on the second period before we send it to the third. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They say the game starts when the puck is dropped, right? Wrong. NHL Preplay, presented by Bet99.ca, is the game before the game. It's the free-to-play daily NHL Pick'em game. So how's it work? Every game day before the puck is dropped, answer up to 10 questions and earn points for a chance to win $100,000. It's that easy. Score big with the game before the game. Play today on the NHL app or at NHL.com/preplay.
Every year,
Play today on the NHL app or at NHL.com/preplay.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
All right, everyone. Step up and down. Left foot, right foot. You're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real world. Work those abs. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real world. Work those abs. Driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more into your Subaru. Windows down. Take in that outdoor air and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat, with lots of yummy things to chew on. Our Great Canadian Meat beef jerky, yum, pepperoni sticks, salami. We make 13 flavors of salami, and you need to try every one. Sausage sticks, mini pepperoni sticks. They all taste great because we handcraft them right here in Whitby using the finest ingredients. Power up and eat some energy. Shop Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander closing in a goal! Scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network, here with you for a few more minutes before we throw it to the third period. Justin, you were just talking about John Tavares and his face-off prowess. He won 76% so far this game. That's 13-1-4 loss of his face-offs. Clearly an important way to start a shift, and he's done that in 2 goals for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
2 goals for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Directly, face-off wins leading to goals in this game. I guess it would solve the overtime debate because it's all about winning that opening face-off. But he's not necessarily high on the option list in overtime, given that, age does catch up with you a little bit, but it's been... he clearly has his utility, and that's offense 5-on-5. And John Tavares is still producing offensively at 5-on-5.
And he currently leads the Maple Leafs with 4 hits as well tonight.
Okay.
So he's just all over the score sheet and on the boards. Let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
There is only one other game going on, and it involves the Washington Capitals and the Florida Panthers. The Capitals are hosting the Panthers and up 3-2 on goals from Anthony Mantha, Connor McMichael, and Sonny Milano. So that one is midway through the game, and tonight we've got LA and Vegas, which is a big one.
Okay, we got 1 minute left here before we throw it to Jim and Joe. Did you see anything from Joseph Woll that period that gave you any cause for concern, or just the situation with the defensive zone in general not setting him up for success?
Not really. I mean, not necessarily cause for concern. I didn't love the third goal, Jacob Chychrun scoring. Wasn't in a great spot, but Joseph Woll has made some good saves in this game as well and has not exactly been protected at a high level. In fact, on that Chychrun goal, it was kind of a changeup because he didn't exactly been protected at a high level. In fact, on that Chychrun goal, it was kind of a changeup because he didn't get all of it, but sometimes that can fool you a little bit. But what I did see and what bothered me about the play more than Joseph Woll letting it in was 4 guys below the hash marks, below the red line nearly, coverage defensively that just continues to let down goaltenders. Not going to excuse only Woll and not Samsonov, because Samsonov, you could see, didn't have the structure and fundamentals in his last start. But, Joseph Woll, you got to help your goaltenders, and the Leafs didn't clearly on that goal and haven't at points in this game as well.
All right, lots to clean up defensively as the Maple Leafs trail 3-2 into the third period. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. Those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance, because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well positioned from coach on down to really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app. Matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
For the third straight game, the Leafs trail heading to the third period. Well, they have come back, tied the game, but then lost against, what was that? I'm thinking off the top, Buffalo. Tied the game in the third period, but ended up losing. And then, of course, the dramatic come from behind victory against the Tampa Bay Lightning as well. But here are the Leafs now down a goal, heading to the third as the puck is down in the Ottawa zone, only to be pushed up on the left wing side. The Leafs are 2-4 when trailing after 2. Nylander in across the line, works to the left wing side, stops up, sends it across in front of the net, and a shot. Big rebound in front. Tavares jamming away at it. Scramble in front of the goal, and Korpisalo is able to get a glove on it.
Boy, all three Leaf forwards, Nylander, Tavares, Bertuzzi poking away, looking for the loose puck as Korpisalo is face down in the blue paint before being able to hold on to it. You mentioned the Leafs are 2-4 when trailing after 2. Ottawa's perfect 4-0 when leading after 40 minutes of play. All 4 of their wins have come while taking leads into the third period.
So the face-off in the circle to the left of Korpisalo, and Matthews has just been waved out. Marner will take the face-off. Nice. Moved into the slot area, but it is won cleanly by Ottawa and pushed out at center ice. Giordano got it ahead for Matthews. Matthews unable to control the puck, and it is shot into the Toronto zone by Matthews. Matthews unable to control the puck, and it is shot into the Toronto zone by Ottawa. Lagesson up ahead for Nyes. Works to the line and in. Tripped up there as he went into the corner after it. Puck is dug free but stolen by the Leafs. Matthews back to the blue line. Giordano with a shot, and that might have been deflected by Nyes, but he deflected it wide. Chychrun playing it up the boards and out. Lagesson for Toronto restores it for the Maple Leafs. Mark playing it up the boards and out. Lagesson for Toronto restores it for the Maple Leafs. Marner turning. Got it ahead for Robertson. His wrist shot went wide of the net. Kept alive by Domi. Domi coming out of the corner, and a centering pass for Yarncrook, and he failed to make contact. Domi with it again. Down into the corner for Robertson. Back to Domi, and his shot just missed. And the rebound, unable to keep it in, was Klingberg at the into the far corner, but the Sens get it out and now send it down into the Leaf end. Icing waved off. Played into the slot area, no one there. Back down into the corner. Domi couldn't come up with it. Brody does. Trying to play it up on the boards. That didn't work. Long shoot in, blockered away by Joseph Wall. Leafs finally get it to center. A pass through the middle, though. Here's a backhand. Great save by Wall with a blocker. Cutting in was Matthew Joseph. He split the Leaf defense right at the blue line. By Wall with a blocker. Cutting in was Matthew Joseph. He split the Leaf defense right at the blue line. Leafs fourth line out there again as the Sens get it down into the Toronto end. Klingberg up on the wing for Reeves, and he was unable to handle the pass, and it's down into the Ottawa zone. Bernard Docker got it to center, and across the line into the left wing corner goes Gerventi. Reeves got a piece of him. The puck along the near wall, and backhanded out at center for Dave. Reeves got a piece of him. The puck along the near wall, and backhanded out at center for David Camp. Camp works in on the left wing. Sharp angle shot stopped. Rebound shot hit the side of the goal off the stick of Noah Gregor. And the Leafs making another change as the Tavares line over the boards. 14-16 to play in the third. Ottawa by a goal. Sanderson got it down into the Toronto end. Lagesson punches it along the boards for Nylander. Nicely handled to center. Played high by Nylander into the zone. Leafs Tavares trying to steal it away, but couldn't get it away there from Travis Hamonic. Back of the net, Nylander couldn't find Tavares in front. And it is down. Travis Hamonic, back of the net, Nylander couldn't find Tavares in front. And it is down into the Toronto area. Both teams changing again. This period moving along quite briskly. Bertuzzi plays it back of the net. Couldn't get it in front. And launched to center ice by Ottawa. Morgan Riley will send a long shoot in over top of the net and off the glass. Marner after it in the far corner. Matthews picked it away but couldn't find Nyes. And the puck comes back out at center ice and Morgan Riley has it. He shoots it right back in again. Tkachuk plays it around the boards into the corner for his defenseman. Chipped up on the wing by Batherson.
Wrong button. Talk back.
Cough. Okay, got it. Yep. Giroux. Not that I've never made that mistake. Played around the boards and into the corner in the Leaf end. This has gone on for 6 minutes without a whistle anyway, right?
Not a lot of action. This is obviously a lot better for the team leading.
Chipped to the boards. Domi backhands it high to center. Yarncrook freed it up. Domi.
Team leading.
Chipped to the boards. Domi backhands it high to center. Yarncrook freed it up. Domi has Robertson with him. Domi to Robertson, who scores! Great pass from Max Domi. And Nicky Robertson ties the game.
Ottawa was going to pick up a penalty and the Leafs not scored. The Senators right now, Joe, hanging over on their bench. They may be looking at this to see if it was offside coming into the zone. But Yarncroc got hit from behind. I think this is fine. And Dome into the zone. But Yarncroc got hit from behind. I think this is fine. And Domi and Robertson took off, and Max Domi, the perfect little saucer backhand pass. Were they trying to maybe determine if Yarncroc hit it with a high stick center? But the puck has dropped, and the Leafs have tied the game at 3.
Nick Robertson's first goal of the season, the fourth of his career in his 33rd game. And the Leafs have tied the game at 3s. Brought in over the line again. Nylander with a shot that rolls in front of the net. No one can get their stick on it. Bertuzzi unable to come up the line again. Nylander with a shot that rolls in front of the net. No one can get their stick on it. Bertuzzi unable to come up with it in the neutral zone as it's back into the Leaf end. The goal comes at 7:42. So after taking the lead in the first period and then falling behind twice, the Leafs have come back to tie the game on both occasions. Now a turnover, and Nyes works in over the line, left wing side. Tried to barge in, but now turns. Sends it in front of the net for Marner, and it was deflected away from him. Tkachuk back the other way, sends it down into the Toronto end. Morgan Riley given a hit there by Tkachuk. Puck into the slot. Back the other way, sends it down into the Toronto end. Morgan Riley given a hit there by Tkachuk. Puck into the slot area. Nyes tips it free. Matthews turns and brings it back. Matthews in. Rolled off his stick as he got a shot away. Riley back of the net and into the corner. Yarncrook getting the additional assist. Here's Marner to the far side. Brody holds, backhands it into the corner. Nyes after it again and was unable to reach it, and now the Sens bring it to center. Nice move in over the line. Stützle, and a good pad save and swallowed up by Joseph Woll. Stützle, and a good pad save and swallowed up by Joseph Woll. Well, we said that line had played well against Tampa. They have been rewarded again here tonight. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With the Colts and Patriots playing 5,000 miles away in Frankfurt, Germany, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to not only help you win, but also to teach you the local language. Fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Belichick in Lederhosen.
Belichick tragt Lederhosen.
Set your lineups by 9:30 a.m. in the East.
Stellen Sie Ihre Aufstellungen bis 39 Uhr ein.
On Fantasy Sports Radio or anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Hören Sie nicht auf Sirius XM 87
on Fantasy Sports Radio or anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Hören Sie nicht auf Sirius XM 87 Fantasy Sports Radio und die Sirius XM App zu hören.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is... If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
You come up from the minors, you want to be impactful. You want to be noticeable. Well, Nick Robertson has done that. And he's fit in very nicely with Max Domi moving to center ice.
Yeah.
Be noticeable. Well, Nick Robertson has done that. And he's fit in very nicely with Max Domi moving to center ice.
Yeah. 2 points in 2 games. Only played 11:34 in the game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but did pick up an assist in that.
Leafs win the face-off, and it's pushed ahead, and Noah Gregor gets it out at center. Yarncrook taking Reeves' spot on this fourth line at this point as it's cleared out into the center ice area. Yarncrook knocking it down into the zone, but the Sens have it there. Game tied 3-3, and half the third period to come. Stützle in on the left wing, got a shot away. The rebound is wired wide of the goal off the left wing side by Tarasenko, and it ends up going off maybe the crossbar and up into the screen.
Man, that was a video game move there, wasn't it? I mean, that's just right through the middle of the ice, from the Ottawa zone into the Leaf end. And Stützle fired. The first one was blocked by Giordano, and then it was a rebound by onto the stick of Tarasenko that just zipped high and over the left shoulder of Woll.
Sens win the face-off. Chychrun shot blocked. Good save by Woll. Tavares turning.
The left shoulder of Woll.
Sens win the face-off. Chychrun shot blocked. Good save by Woll. Tavares turning.
And a hooking penalty. And I think it's going to be TJ Brody right in front of the Leaf net.
Okay.
Well, only one power play goal so far in the night. That was Willie Nylander to open the scoring. This is a pretty good sales job. This is, I believe it was Giroux the stick is there, but Giroux put the big clamp on it, held on, and then spun himself around. TJ Brodie lets go of his stick. But once it's there, and then spun himself around, TJ Brodie lets go of his stick. But once it's there, you're done.
You're done. Yep. Leafs win the faceoff, and Marner carries the puck to center. He's in across the line. A weak backhand handled easily by Korpisalo. And the Sens bring it back. Right wing pass for Batherson. He's in on the boards. Had it blocked. The puck along the wall. Battled for. Finally comes free. Marner coolly plays it off the far boards and down the ice. He encamped to the bench. Noah Gregor and Yarncrook come over the boards. Sends through center ice. Batherson, Noah Gregor, and Yarncrook come over the boards. Sends through center ice. Batherson for Stützle on the far side to Tkachuk. That was broken up. Stützle then lost it, and here's Yarncrook breaking. Morgan Riley's in the rush with him. Yarncrook a little toe drag, and it was blocked, and now here are the Sens coming back the other way. And across the line, Batherson. Good play by Benoit to prevent him from breaking in. Back to the point. Kept alive now near side. Norris to the point to Chychrun. Down into the corner. Pass there by Stützle was partially blocked. It goes around back of the net. Good stick there by Benoit, and he gets it out and down the ice. Partially blocked. It goes around back of the net. Good stick there by Benoit, and he gets it out and down the ice. First to block the pass, then to grab it again and send it down into Ottawa territory. Giroux in on the left wing and into the zone. Played back to the point. Chychrun near side. Tarasenko, a shot off the side of the goal. Rebound comes back out into the slot. Chychrun into the corner. Giroux centers near side. Tarasenko, a shot, and into the glove of Wall.
And Legason goes after. Is that Matthew Joseph that's in front of the net? Legason gave him a little cross check. And again, this is what we were talking about earlier. Joseph that's in front of the net. Legason gave him a little cross check. And again, this is what we were talking about earlier. Let Ottawa be the team that's upset at what the Leafs are doing in front of the net, instead of always asking yourself, why didn't we respond properly? Legason did there. And you know, from a goaltender standpoint, Joe, if you got guys that are great on the penalty kill in front of you, those are the guys you always want on the ice in front of you in your own end.
Those are the guys you buy dinner for on the road, right?
Benoit and Legason, both an impressive shift, getting sticks into lanes and being physical in front.
And so did Benoit. Sens win the face-off. Chychrun into the corner. Centering pass, scores off a skate. So did Benoit. Sens win the face-off. Chychrun into the corner. Centering pass, scores off a skate in front.
It might have been Giordano. He was sifting back into the crease, and just as he was putting on the brakes, the puck got there and it redirects past Joseph Wall. And for the 7th time in a row this season, you want to talk about streaks, the Leafs give up 4 goals on home ice.
Kubalik, I think, is the one who was centering the puck. Giroux was in front of the net, and it goes off Giordano's skate and into the net. Giroux was in front of the net, and it goes off Giordano's skate and into the net. So Kubalik has got 2 on the night. And once again, for the 3rd time in the game, the Leafs trail. 8 minutes to play, 3rd period. That's amazing. 4 goals at home.
7 in a row.
7 games in a row. Going back in again by Parker Kelly. Now Brody, left wing side for Lagesson. Lageson's pass gets to the line and is tipped in. Domi after the puck, back of the net. Domi had to come out in front of the net, a backhand that was stopped there. Domi, another shot there, taken in front and down. Still scrambling in front of the net. Back to the point, once more, out. Still scrambling in front of the net. Back to the point, once more, out. Riley trying to get it in for Yarncrook, and it was intercepted and cleared back down into the Leaf end.
Assisted by number 21, Matthew Joseph, and number 28, Claude Giroux.
Pretty good scramble, but Leafs were unable to do much with it. And an icing call stops play to bring it back into the Ottawa zone with 5.5 minutes to play. Stützle from Joseph and Giroux.
So goals against at home, the official count to this point, 33 goals against in 7 games. Do the math quickly, that's over 4 a game and games. Do the math quickly, that's over 4 a game and so you're asking a lot to outscore your problems every night, especially when the problems are this significant.
Played to the line, kept alive there by Brody, but knocked off the stick, and out come the Sens to center ice. Shot in by Jake Sanderson. Riley pumps it around the wall, was no one there. It's all the way down into Ottawa territory with 5 minutes remaining in the third. Giroux's had a dandy little night. Out of the goal is Wall, and the Senators are going to score again. Out of the goal is Wall, and the Senators are going to score again. Giroux is right there. Wall got trapped out of the net on a turnover, and boom, it is over.
And we ain't done yet, but another 3-goal period against is, I mean, there's got to be better communication here. Wall goes and stops it behind the net. And he was holding on to it, waiting to make a decision. Somebody's got to be yelling, Joe, to move it. Because as he was looking up, it was Stützle that came in behind Wall, lifted his stick and threw it up. Because as he was looking up, it was Stützle that came in behind Wall, lifted his stick and threw it out to the front of the net. And the Leafs, by the way, only the San Jose Sharks have given up more goals on home ice this season.
Wow. And the Leafs record is going to fall to 3-4 on home ice.
Well, I know in Ottawa they were getting booed coming off the ice, and I know some of the players were critical of the fans in Ottawa. The Leafs are feeling the same thing now. Coming off the ice, and I know some of the players were critical of the fans in Ottawa. The Leafs are feeling the same thing now.
Chikrin brings it to center. The Senators will pick up their 10th point of the season. Second win on the road. They've played most of their games at home. They'll just play it around the boards into the Ottawa zone. 4 minutes to play in the third. Benoit's shot went wide of the net. Brody down the boards, can't come up with it. And carried to center ice and shot in. As the Leafs go back to recover the puck in their own end. And shot in as the Leafs go back to recover the puck in their own end. Bertuzzi dropping it back. Benoit on the far side to Tavares. Tavares got across the line only to have it knocked right back out into the center ice area. Sens trying to break it out. 3 unanswered goals here in the third period after Nick Robertson had tied the game.
Tavares is going to take a penalty here. To me, this is kind of a shoulder-to-shoulder going for the loose puck towards the boards. Tavares, who won the battle and stayed on his feet, is going to go to the penalty box for interference. Tavares, who won the battle and stayed on his feet, is going to go to the penalty box for interference. It's another one of those that, to me, both players, it's not one player initiating contact over the other, but at this point, it doesn't much matter. 3:20 to go, 6-3 Ottawa.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, Ultra. Noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, Ultra, XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Do more.
Has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
They score! Holy mackerel, they score!
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Holy mackerel, they score!
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
And here's Benoit bringing it to center, only to have Stutzla take the puck away from him. 3-on-1 going the wrong way. Left in it. And here's Benoit bringing it to center, only to have Stutzla take the puck away from him. 3-on-1 going the wrong way, and a good defensive play made in the slot area there by Brody. Leafs get it out into the center ice area. Here's Yarncrook in. Tavares out of the penalty box, but heading to the bench, and it is cleared by Riley around back of the Ottawa goal. Final minute of play about to be announced.
Last minute of play in the third period.
Right on cue is Mike Ross. Shot down into the Toronto zone by Ottawa, brought out by Domi. Goal by Robertson had given everybody a lot of Toronto zone by Ottawa, brought out by Domi. Goal by Robertson had given everybody a lot of hope. Reeves steps into a man and some shoving in the center ice area, but nothing more, as Parker Kelly gave Reeves a little shot on the way to the bench. Here the Sens brought in on the right side. Jarvetti sending it around on the far wing. It'll come to the blue line and out. And here's the Sens bringing it right back in, shooting it in. Zach McEwen, and Reeves.
Yeah, Reeves is trying to go to McEwen.
He's shooting it in. Zach McEwen and Reeves.
Yeah, Reeves is trying to go to McEwen. And are they going to do it? I don't think so.
No. 1 second left in the game, and that'll do it.
With the 6th spot up on the boards, a little late for any kind of retaliation. But if we are going to go to the Molson 3 stars, Joe?
Absolutely. Brought to you by Molson's.
Well, let's start. I'm going to go Jacob Chikrin. The 3rd star was +4 in the night, had a goal and an assist. 2nd star, Tim Stützle. 4-point night with a goal and 3 assists. And let's go with the veteran, Claude Giroux. 2 goals, 3 points on the night with a goal and 3 assists. And let's go with the veteran, Claude Giroux. 2 goals, 3 points on the night. And even Korpisalo, I think you've got to look from a goaltending standpoint, needs some key saves to keep this game close or keep Ottawa ahead throughout most of the game. But from a Leaf standpoint, they had moments offensively, but I think we said if you've got to score 5 or 6 goals every night to try to get to overtime, you're going to be in for a long season. But yet here we are, another game where they give up 6 goals on home ice, and it's starting to get a little bit scary. Like we said, when you're only the San Jose Sharks have given up more goals at home than you. You know that there's got to, only the San Jose Sharks have given up more goals at home than you. You know that there's got to, something's got to be done about it, because you usually have the same victims, whether it's the 4th line, whether it's certain defense pairings that always find themselves out. And let's not forget, defense is a 5-man unit. It's not just a goaltender. It's just not 2 defensemen. And the number of wide open opportunities, even tonight, the Chikrin goal, the odd man rush back the other way. That's a lot of things that you would consider inexcusable, that you would give up that much time and space to the opposition.
Well, that is exactly what transpired, and the Ottawa Senators full marks for a 6-3 victory in their first visit and the first of 4 meetings between the Battle of Ottawa. A 6-3 victory in their first visit and the first of 4 meetings between the Battle of Ontario rivals. So we will step aside. Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert coming your way as the Leafs fall 6-3 to Ottawa. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Kelly Clarkson here, everybody. Get ready for the Kelly Clarkson Connection.
Connecting the music she loves.
Everything from Rosemary Clooney to Aerosmith.
The music she's inspired by.
The Queen, y'all. Aretha Franklin. Possibly my biggest influence vocally.
And her own award-winning catalog.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's what you're going to get here. So you're welcome in advance. My SiriusXM channel.
The Kelly Clarkson Connection, Channel 12. And on the...
That's what you're going to get here. So you're welcome in advance. My SiriusXM channel.
The Kelly Clarkson Connection, Channel 12. And on the SiriusXM app. Free with all trials and popular plans.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Under review. It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he was...
XM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Under review. It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. He had all these good players around him. Hey, wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance, because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590.
157.
Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert with you for the next couple minutes before we send it to the boys with Leafs talk. But Maple Leafs drop a 6-3 loss to the Ottawa Senators at home in the first Battle of Ontario, and that was messy and deflating by the end of the game.
Pretty gross. Pretty gross. It should have been and was trending towards being, one of those games where it's real ugly, but you have a happy ending. Regardless, Nick Robertson scoring a big goal, getting off the schneid, getting one
Best part of the
in
night
the
for
blue
Leafs.
and white, and you're like, oh, okay, they're going to do it again. They're going to do the thing where they get outplayed for a lot of it, or they give up bad goals, or they're a mess defensively, but they win anyway. But it definitely didn't happen tonight. That was an ugly, ugly third period, and honestly, it's been an ugly 7 games to start the season for the Maple Leafs. They've given fans reason to boo in every single game so far at Scotiabank Arena, maybe with the one exception of the Minnesota Wild game that was kind of messy, but the Leafs were in control the entire time. They've given up 1 million goals on home ice, it seems, so far to start the season. It has been so bad. They've been such a mess defensively, and I don't even know where you begin to clean this up.
Maybe there's some defensemen on the back end that would look probably a little better.
I don't even know where you begin to clean this up.
Maybe there's some defensemen on the back end that would look probably a little better in the press box. Unfortunately, the Maple Leafs still dealing with some injuries, but when McCabe comes back, when Timothy Liljegren comes back, is Connor Timmins even a question down the road on this
Connor
team?
Timmins is going to get some run here if and when he gets back to health.
Those are 3 defensemen that I trust more than current John Klingberg.
Yeah.
And Mark Giordano, who deserves some the opposite of credit, some blame tonight because they were both on for 4 goals.
Yeah, it was a bit. Listen, there was a change in the lineup, change in the blue line structure to start the third period, but it was a risky move splitting Klingberg and Giordano because it seemed like they were both destined to be on for a goal against anyway, and they did it on separate occasions, thus helping swell the lead for the Ottawa Senators. I mean, it wasn't working while they were together. They gave up 3 goals in the first 2 periods. The lead for the Ottawa Senators. I mean, it wasn't working while they were together. They gave up 3 goals in the first 2 periods when they were playing together, and they both gave one up playing apart. And it just seems like nothing those two are doing are working right now. And they are among the league leaders in goals conceded or on ice goals conceded. These guys just cannot do anything right defensively at this point. And if you play them together, play them apart, it seems like there's no difference.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a couple more thoughts before we throw it to Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 and the Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to
Break. We'll be back with a couple more thoughts before we throw it to Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 and the Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
This has got to scare a lot of people if the AFC were to have to go through Baltimore.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
I think you begin to run out of superlatives when you try and describe what C.J. Stroud has done.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence.
We're a really close team and winning fun, too.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Winning fun, too.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like SiriusXM NFL Radio. Channel 88.
NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league is talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The one thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius...
The guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. He had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
And Justin Cuthbert here with you for...
Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
And Justin Cuthbert here with you for another minute. 6-3 loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Ottawa Senators. But we're going to look around the NHL scoreboard before we throw it to Leafs Talk. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yeah, just one other game ongoing, an old Southeast Division clash, I think. Florida and Washington. It's tied at 3 in the third period. Evan Rodriguez, the equalizer for the Florida Panthers. So that one trending toward a good finish, and the LA Kings and Vegas Golden Knights do battle in a big game coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, so a messy, stinky end for the Maple Leafs there. I saw a play there that we didn't love. Joseph Wall coming up to play the puck, ends up being out of place. That goes in. Obviously, Giordano and Klingberg both on for 4-ish goals, maybe even more. That was a tough one. The only bright spot I can think of was that really, really nice pass from Domi to Robertson, which is big because Robertson was the story going into the last couple of days about will he be able to earn a spot on this bottom six? And if he can do stuff like that, he's NHL ready.
Yeah, if there's anything really to be excited about after this game, it's maybe a little chemistry forming on the third line. I think that's a second straight positive game. All three of the pieces on that line connected on that goal. And I think if anything, it's another positive step in the right direction for what might be, a new and working third line.
All right. JD Bunkus and Sam McKee will have you with Leafs Talk next. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Baby Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. I don't know what it says about me as someone who has, watched majority, let's just say, of games since tonight. A bad result with some disastrous moments, but let me start with this, and I'll ask you this question. But do you think the Leafs deserve to get booed tonight?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Okay.
Every time they lose, they people hate this team. Every time they do anything remotely bad, they're getting booed by it. It's a knife's edge of booing. Like the between cheering and booing, it's like water always finds its level, as Babs likes to say. And yeah, it was a dog's breakfast for the third period. Pardon? Yeah,
That's
water always finds its level. He used to say that all the time when it came to like guys or whatever. You know him. He had all those stupid sayings that he said all the time. He found them in other people's phones. Anyways, the third period tonight is just really horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were in the game. I thought there was a pretty tight game throughout the rest of it. I think shots were pretty even. They were up 3-2 at the end of the second period. They come back to get that tying goal, take a bad penalty in front of the net, and then they just let it unravel. They are a dog's breakfast defensively, man. There's no way around it. They are awful. They are a dog's breakfast defensively, man. There's no way around it. They are awful defensively. And this era of Leafs hockey has not been bad defensively, and this is different.
Well, yeah.
Are awful defensively. And this era of Leafs hockey has not been bad defensively, and this is different.
Well, yeah. Last year, Sheldon Keefe's team was their calling card. They were a really strong defensive team. They really did a great job of limiting home run opportunities, home plate opportunities, whatever the hell you want to call them. They were great at it. This year, not so much. So let me just start by saying this. I didn't think that tonight was as bad as some people, I think, are making it out to be. Just based on, again, quick anecdotal evidence. You know me, I don't really look at Twitter during the games too much. I find that it's not really good for the way that I'm observing the game. But I just took a quick peek, and people were pissed. People were mad. To me, I thought that this was kind of the Senators' season. They had their backs against the wall. They've been mired in controversy for a month. I had Ian Mendez on my show today, and it's just they've had a first-round pick stripped from them, a GM firing, their coach getting fired, DJ Chancellor at their arena. Their star player, Brady Tkachuk, just went out and was adversarial with the fan base and basically had to answer for himself. Claude Giroux had to come out and basically stump for the coach. Had they had anything other than an A++ effort tonight, it would have been just a complete tailspin in Ottawa. People are pissed. I was texting other than an A++ effort tonight, it would have been just a complete tailspin in Ottawa. People are pissed. I was texting my friends who are fans. I was texting people around the hockey team today, just trying to solicit as much information as I could. And it just the response I got back from everyone was, it's bad. It's really, really bad. People are pissed. They've had 4 straight seasons of horrific starts under DJ Smith, and the people there have had enough. So the Sens came out and they gave the Leafs a really good punch. And I thought the Leafs matched them through 2 periods of play. And for the vast majority of the game, I actually thought that the Leafs played really well. I loved what I saw from the second line tonight. It was another really good Nylander performance where his confidence was just buzzing. Matthews was chaotic. I thought Bertuzzi had his best game as a Leaf. They just really got unraveled to me by the 3 things that are likely to be continuous sore spots. 1, they got really bad goaltending, which they've had all season long. Wool has been good. He's had some great moments, but that was by far his worst game as a Maple Leaf. 2 is the Klingberg-Giordano pairing is an absolute nightmare. I don't know if you have it at the ready here, Sis, but the 4th goal of the game, or was it? No, it was the 5th, because, they gave up the 4th goal on the penalty kill. And then the 5th goal of the game, the quick one in transition, that I don't know.
Pull up all the goals. They were on the ice for 3 of the 5. I
think they were -4. I think they were -4.
NHL.com has them as -3, so maybe they're wrong on NHL.com.
Either way, that 5th goal, I know we speak in hyperbole sometimes because we do a show that involves it and it's a reactionary show. That 5th goal, I don't think you'll ever find a worse defensive play this season from a pairing. Like, it is just nightmare zone stuff. And then 3rd is the penalty kill. It's just, this is their 7th goal that they've conceded in 6 games on the penalty kill. It's a bottom 10 unit. It's, I think, now a bottom 5 or 6 unit. It's a problem. And those 3 areas are just, it's tough to see where the Leafs are going to get like markedly better.
Yeah. They don't have any penalty kill personnel. And Camp has taken a massive step back in all facets of his game. And that was the first guy over the boards with Marner last year. And they were an excellent duo. And he's been no good to start the year. The second guy's out there running out there. It's Gregor and Yarncroc, no true center. They don't look like they have any chemistry penalty kill wise. They missed Justin Hall terribly in a lot of facets of the game, but most notably for me on the penalty kill, he was their best penalty killer on defense. Like, they got Lagesson and Giordano out there together. Like, I know they have guys hurt, but even when the guys that are hurt aren't really good penalty killers, right? Like, it's Liljegren, who's not a great penalty killer. Jake McCabe, you don't think of him in that hurt, aren't like really good penalty killers, right? Like it's Liljegren who's not a great penalty killer. Jake McCabe, you don't think of him in that. So that part of it is, I don't know how it gets better outside of otherworldly goaltending. Tonight was the first night where I watched Joe Woll, and even after it was 2-2, I was concerned about how he looked. I thought, the second one, there's not a whole lot you can do. It lands on Giroux's stick and right beside the net, he shoots it up there. First goal is putrid. Like, no, especially
he was shaky all night, dude. We always talk about how he is a stone, a rock. That was the last thing that we talked about tonight. I thought that
he looked like Samsonov. Samsonov.
Bingo. He was all over the ice. He looked shaky. I saw going into this game, he was one of 2 goaltenders in the entire NHL that hadn't given up a goal outside the home plate area this season.